needle-sharp nylon shards, toxic lead compounds, and choking hazards hidden inside squeaky animals. That is what some of America's most popular dog toy brands are selling to your best friend right now. But grab the wrong toy off the shelf and what your dog is really chewing on is splintering plastic, heavy metal dye residues, and chemical coatings never tested for oral safety, all disguised as colorful playtime. You trusted the packaging, the brand name, the smiling retriever on the label. That trust has been weaponized against your pet. Today we are breaking down 7 dog toys that veterinary experts say you should never bring home, including 2 that almost every owner has bought. Plus, the 5 toys that actually passed safety testing and deserve a spot in your house. Coming in at number 7, Hartz Chew N Clean. Walk into any grocery store, any pharmacy, any big box retailer in America and you will find Hartz. It is everywhere. Bright packaging, low prices, a name that has been around so long most people assume it must be safe. That assumption has sent dogs to the emergency room. Multiple consumer complaints filed with veterinary organizations describe the same terrifying pattern. Dogs chew the Hartz Chew N Clean for a few days. The rubber begins to crack. Small jagged pieces break off. Those fragments get swallowed. What follows is choking, gagging, intestinal blockages, and emergency surgery that can cost thousands of dollars. Hartz has faced repeated scrutiny over the materials used in their toys. Independent reviewers have flagged the rubber compound as unusually brittle, nothing like the resilient natural rubber used by premium brands. The chemical coatings applied for scent and flavor have never been independently certified for prolonged oral contact. Your dog does not nibble a toy once and walk away. Your dog chews for hours. That means hours of exposure to materials no third party has verified as safe. Pick up a Hartz toy and feel it. Squeeze the rubber. It feels thin, almost hollow. There is no density to it, no resistance. Compare that to a Kong or a Westpaw, and the difference is immediate. One feels like it was built to last. The other feels like it was built to sell. Hartz generates hundreds of millions in annual revenue. They could invest in better materials, they could submit to independent safety testing. They could reformulate the rubber to resist splintering. They choose not to because cheap materials mean bigger margins, and your dog pays the price. That friendly packaging, those budget prices, they are not savings. They are a gamble with your dog's intestines. Think cheap toys are the only problem? Think paying a little more protects your dog? Not even close. Number 6. Paws Rough and Rugged. The name says it all, rough and rugged. Built for aggressive chewers, designed to withstand powerful jaws. That is the promise printed right on the packaging. The reality could not be more different. Independent product testers have documented Paws rubber toys disintegrating far faster than advertised, not wearing down gradually the way a quality chew toy should, breaking apart into sharp, jagged fragments with edges hard enough to cut skin. Those fragments do not pass harmlessly through a dog's digestive system. They scrape, they puncture, they obstruct. Veterinary emergency databases contain reports of dogs presenting with internal lacerations after chewing rubber toys that match this exact failure pattern. The rubber compound. Paws lacks any third-party safety certification for material composition. No independent lab has verified what chemicals are in that rubber, how it degrades under sustained chewing pressure, or what happens when a dog ingests the fragments over weeks and months of daily chewing sessions. Hold a Paws Rough and Rugged toy next to a Benebone or a Westpaw Zogoflex. The difference is obvious before your dog even touches it. The Paws toy feels light, almost flimsy. The surface has a plasticky sheen that feels more like a bath toy than a serious chew product. Scratch the surface with your fingernail, and you can see how easily the material scores and flakes. Now imagine what a dog's teeth do to it in 10 minutes. Marketed as tough, built like tissue paper. Your dog deserves better than a toy that turns into shrapnel after a week. Paws charged you for durability and delivered a hazard. That is not rough and rugged. That is reckless and dangerous. If the so-called tough toys fall apart that fast, what about the cute little squeaky ones? They are even worse. Number 5. Multipet latex toys. Those adorable little latex animals. The ducks, the pigs, the lobsters with the squeakers inside that make your dog go crazy. Multipet has turned impulse buys into an art form. Cute designs, bright colors, Ottosson. Prices low enough that you toss 2 or 3 into the cart without thinking. Your dog shreds them in minutes. That is not an exaggeration. Pet owners report these latex toys lasting less than 5 minutes with a moderately enthusiastic chewer. The latex is tissue thin. It tears like wet paper. and the moment it tears, the squeaker unit inside becomes exposed. Veterinary emergency room databases consistently flag squeaker units as one of the top aspiration and bowel obstruction hazards in dogs. The squeaker is small, smooth, and perfectly shaped to lodge in a dog's throat or intestine. A dog that swallows a squeaker may need emergency surgery costing $2,000 or more, for a toy that cost $3 and lasted 4 minutes. $3 for the toy, $2,000 for the surgery. Multipet knows their toys do not last. The business model depends on it. Short lifespan means repeat purchases. Replacement after replacement, $3 at a time, adding up over months and years while the real cost hides in veterinary bills. Most people never connect to that cute little latex duck. The latex itself raises additional concerns. Thin latex degrades into small rubbery strips that dogs swallow without chewing properly. Those strips can bunch together in the intestines and create blockages that do not show up on standard x-rays until the damage is serious and the surgery bill is catastrophic. What's the worst dog toy you have ever bought? Drop it in the comments below. If this helps you keep your dog safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free, and it means you will never miss these exposes. You would think a product designed specifically as a chew alternative would at least be safe to chew. You would be wrong. Number 4. Pet Qwerks Bark Bone. Flavored nylon shaped like a bone, marketed as the safe alternative to real bones and rawhide. Pet Qwerks promises a satisfying chew experience without the risks of splintering natural bones. Scroll through the Amazon reviews and a very different story emerges. Photo after photo shows bark bones that have splintered into needle-sharp nylon shards, not rounded wear, not gradual erosion, sharp pointed fragments that look like they could puncture a tire. Nylon does not digest. It does not soften in stomach acid. It does not break down in the intestines. When a dog swallows nylon shards, they travel through the digestive tract like tiny knives, scraping and cutting as they go. Some pass, some do not. The ones that do not mean emergency surgery and a dog in serious pain. The artificial flavoring is another concern entirely. Pet Qwerks infuses their nylon with bacon, peanut butter, and other scents to encourage aggressive chewing. Those flavoring agents have not been independently tested for safety during prolonged oral exposure. Your dog does not lick this toy once and walk away. Your dog gnaws on it for hours, day after day, ingesting flavor compounds that no regulatory body has evaluated for long-term consumption safety. Pick up a bark bone and run your thumb along the chewed edge of a used one. You can feel the points. You can see the fracture lines where the nylon wants to split. This is not a design flaw. This is the material doing exactly what cheap nylon does under sustained pressure. The safe alternative to bones. Sharper than most real bones ever get. That is the bark bone promise versus the bark bone reality. The next toy on this list does not splinter into shards. It does something potentially worse. It unravels inside your dog. Number 3. Zies rope toys. The colorful braided rope, the knots on either end, the classic tug-of-war toy that has been a pet store staple for decades. Veterinarians have a different name for rope toys. They call them linear foreign bodies waiting to happen. When dogs chew rope, they do not just tug on it. They shred it. They pull individual fibers loose and swallow them. Those fibers do not pass through the digestive system cleanly. They bunch, they tangle. They accordion the intestines around themselves like thread around a spool. Linear foreign bodies are one of the most dangerous and most expensive surgical emergencies in veterinary medicine. The intestine bunches so tightly around the fibers that sections of bowel can lose blood supply and die. That means not just removing the rope fibers, but removing sections of dead intestine. Surgery costs regularly exceed $3,000. Recovery takes weeks. Some dogs do not make it. But Zies rope toys carry an additional risk that most owners never consider. Independent testing of imported rope toys, including some Zies products, has detected traces of heavy metals in the dye compounds used to create those bright, cheerful colors. Lead and other toxic metals embedded in the fibers your dog chews on, swallows, and absorbs into their bloodstream over months and years of daily play. Your dog trusts you to pick something safe. That rope toy violates that trust every single time. Zies markets these toys as great for dental health. Veterinary surgeons who have spent hours removing rope fibers from dying intestines would strongly disagree. A toy that requires emergency surgery is not dental care. It is a ticking time bomb with a colorful braided fuse. Your dog does not know the difference between a safe toy and a dangerous one. That is your responsibility. And rope toys make that responsibility a losing bet. See the pattern here? Budget brands use brittle rubber. Cute toys use tissue-thin latex. Tough toys use splintering nylon. Dental toys use surgical thread. So where does that leave the ultra-cheap bargain imports? Somewhere much darker. And wait until you hear what number 1 is, because it is sitting in almost every dog owner's garage right now. Number 2, Wish and Temu imported chew toys. The prices are unbelievable. 50 cents for a chew toy, $1 for a squeaky ball, $3 for a 10-piece variety pack shipped straight to your door. Those prices are not a bargain. They are a warning sign. Independent laboratory analyses of unbranded dog toys imported from overseas marketplaces have found alarming levels of lead, phthalates, and BPA in the plastic and rubber materials. Not trace amounts at the edge of detection. Levels that exceed United States consumer safety thresholds by significant margins. These toys undergo no regulatory inspection before reaching your doorstep. No independent safety testing. No material certification. No accountability whatsoever if your dog gets sick. The manufacturers are overseas. The sellers are anonymous storefronts that vanish and reappear under new names every few months. Try filing a complaint. Try getting a refund for a veterinary bill. Try finding anyone responsible when your dog is in surgery. You cannot. The rubber smells wrong and it feels wrong. Pick up a Temu chew toy and hold it to your nose. That sharp chemical odor is not a manufacturing quirk. It is volatile organic compounds off-gassing from unstabilized plastic. That smell is the toy telling you something is deeply wrong. Your dog's nose is 14,000 times more sensitive than yours. They smell it too. But the bacon flavoring overrides their instincts and they chew anyway. You save $2 on a toy. Your dog absorbed lead. That is not a bargain. That is a betrayal of the trust your pet places in you every single day. You might think at least a regular tennis ball is perfectly safe. Everyone throws tennis balls for their dog. That is exactly the problem. Number 1. Tennis balls used as dog toys. The single most common item people grab as a dog toy. Pick one up from the garage, toss it in the yard, watch your dog chase it for hours. It seems so simple, so harmless, so obvious. It is none of those things. Tennis balls are sporting goods. They are manufactured exclusively for court play. They are not designed, tested, or approved for animal use in any way. The felt covering on a standard tennis ball is abrasive, not slightly rough. Abrasive like fine grit sandpaper. Veterinary dentists have documented severe enamel erosion in dogs who regularly chew tennis balls. The felt acts as a grinding surface that wears down tooth enamel over months, exposing the sensitive dentin underneath and leading to painful dental disease, infections, and extractions costing hundreds of dollars per tooth. The fluorescent yellow-green dye used on tennis balls contains chemical compounds that are not rated for oral contact. The rubber core contains trace heavy metals never intended for chewing because no one at Penn or Wilson ever imagined someone would hand their product to an animal and say, "Here, put this in your mouth for 3 hours." The felt also collects dirt, sand, and grit like a sponge. Every time your dog picks up that tennis ball from the ground, the abrasive surface gets loaded with even more grinding material. It becomes progressively more destructive with every single throw. Drop a comment if you have ever used a regular tennis ball as a dog toy. Most of us have. That is exactly why this is number 1. Not because it is the most toxic toy on the list, but because it is the most common danger hiding in plain sight. The solution is simple. The Chuckit Ultra Ball exists specifically for this purpose. Same shape, same bounce, none of the damage, but millions of dog owners still reach for the tennis ball because nobody ever told them the truth. Now you know. 7 toys exposed. From Hartz selling splintering rubber to Multipet turning squeakers into surgical emergencies. From Benebone's nylon shards to Zies threading intestines with colorful rope. From Temu's lead-laced imports to the tennis ball grinding down your dog's teeth one fetch at a time. That is what has been sitting in your dog's toy bin. But here is the good news. 5 brands prove that safe, durable, genuinely tested dog toys do exist. Go check your dog's toy bin right now. If you see any of those 7 products, throw them out tonight. Your dog deserves what comes next. Safe pick 1. Paws Zogoflex. Everything on the avoid list shares one common trait. Cheap materials that prioritize profit over your dog's safety. Paws Zogoflex is the exact opposite of that philosophy. Every Zogoflex toy is manufactured in Bozeman, Montana. Not outsourced overseas to anonymous factories. Not assembled from mystery rubber compounds sourced from the lowest bidder. Made in-house with a proprietary material that is FDA compliant, BPA-free, and phthalate-free. Hold a Zogoflex toy and you feel the difference immediately. It has density, flexibility, and a slight give that absorbs chewing pressure instead of cracking under it. Dogs can gnaw on these for months, and the surface shows gradual wear without ever splintering or fragmenting into dangerous pieces. The material is non-porous, which means it resists bacteria buildup naturally. Unlike rope toys that harbor mold in every fiber and latex toys that trap saliva in every tear, Zogoflex stays clean with a simple rinse under the faucet. Westpaw backs every single product with a one-time replacement guarantee. If your dog destroys it, they replace it free of charge. That guarantee tells you everything about their confidence in the material because no company offers free replacements on a product designed to fall apart. They are also a certified B Corporation, meeting rigorous standards for environmental responsibility and product safety accountability. They cost more than the $3 Multipet duck. They also will not cost $2,000 in emergency surgery. That is not a premium price. That is peace of mind you can hold in your hand. Safe Pick 2. Kong Classic. If one dog toy has earned the right to be called legendary, it is the Kong Classic. Veterinary behaviorists have recommended Kong toys for over 40 years. That is not a marketing claim on a box. That is 4 decades of clinical use, behavioral research, and an unmatched safety track record that no other brand can touch. The Kong Classic is made in the USA from a proprietary natural rubber formula that is virtually indestructible for most chewing styles. Not brittle nylon that splinters into needles, not thin latex that shreds in minutes. Dense, resilient rubber that flexes under pressure and bounces back without fragmenting or crumbling apart. Squeeze a Kong, and you can feel the quality immediately. The rubber has a satisfying resistance, a density that tells you this thing was engineered to survive. The hollow center is where the Kong becomes truly brilliant. Stuff it with peanut butter, frozen broth, or kibble, and your dog will work on it calmly and independently for an hour or more. That is not just entertainment. That is behavioral enrichment that reduces anxiety, prevents destructive chewing on furniture and shoes, and gives your dog a healthy outlet for their natural chewing instincts. Kong offers different rubber densities for different chew strengths. The Black Extreme line handles the most powerful jaws in the world. The classic red handles everything else. 40 years and millions of dogs later, the safety record speaks louder than any marketing campaign ever could. Safe Pick 3. Benebone Wishbone. Every flavored toy on the avoid list applies its flavoring as a surface coating. Spray it on, let it dry. Hope it lasts a few chews before the dog reaches unflavored material underneath. Benebone took a completely different approach to that problem. They infuse real food-grade flavor ingredients directly into the nylon itself. Not artificial spray coatings that vanish after 10 minutes. Real chicken, real bacon, real peanut butter baked into the material so the flavor stays consistent from the very first bite to the very last. Every Benebone is manufactured in the USA with domestically sourced ingredients, and the company publishes full material safety data directly on their packaging for anyone to read. That level of transparency is the polar opposite of what pet Qwerks and Hartz offer their customers. Where those brands hide behind vague marketing language, Benebone shows you exactly what is in the product and invites comparison. The wishbone shape is not just aesthetic, it is ergonomic by design. The curved form lets dogs grip the toy with their paws and chew independently without anyone needing to hold it steady. That design detail matters enormously for owners with arthritis or limited hand strength who simply cannot spend 20 minutes gripping a toy in place. Benebone is firm enough to withstand aggressive chewing without splintering into dangerous shards. It wears down gradually and visibly, showing clear marks that tell you when replacement time has arrived. No surprises, no hidden fractures, no emergency vet bills hiding inside. Safe Pick 4. Chuckit Ultra Ball. This is the toy that makes #1 on the avoid list completely unnecessary. The Chuckit Ultra Ball was designed from the ground up as a dedicated pet product, not a tennis ball someone decided to toss to their dog. A ball engineered specifically for canine mouths, canine teeth, and canine play. The walls are thick, high-bounce natural rubber that resists puncturing and will not break apart into dangerous fragments no matter how aggressively your dog bites down. Unlike tennis ball felt, the Ultra Ball surface will not abrade tooth enamel over time. There is no fluorescent chemical dye and no heavy metal residue in the rubber core. The material has been independently tested and verified for oral safety in dogs by outside laboratories. The surface is textured enough for dogs to grip easily, but smooth enough that it does not collect dirt and grit the way that destructive tennis ball felt does. Every single throw stays cleaner and safer than the last. Pair the Ultra Ball with the Chuckit launcher handle and you can throw it 3 times farther than a bare hand toss without any strain on your shoulder, elbow, or wrist. Fetch should tire out your dog, not injure the person throwing. Same shape your dog already loves chasing. Same satisfying bounce off the ground. None of the enamel destruction. None of the chemical exposure. None of the hidden risks that come with every single tennis ball throw. The Chuckit Ultra Ball costs a few dollars more than a can of Penn tennis balls. Your dog's teeth are worth infinitely more than that. Safe pick 5. Outward Hound. Nina Ottosson Puzzle Toys. Not every dog toy needs to be something your dog destroys with their teeth. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do for your dog is tire their brain instead of their jaw. The Outward Hound. Nina Ottosson Puzzle Toy line focuses entirely on mental stimulation rather than physical chewing. Sliding compartments, spinning discs, hidden treat chambers, all designed to make your dog problem-solve their way to a reward. The materials are BPA-free composites that are completely dishwasher-safe for easy cleaning after every use. These toys have earned multiple industry safety awards and undergo independent third-party testing for material integrity and small part hazard compliance. That means outside laboratories, not the company itself, have verified that no component is small enough to create a choking risk and no material degrades into dangerous fragments over time. Puzzle toys tire dogs out mentally without requiring any vigorous physical play from you or your dog. A 15-minute puzzle session can exhaust a dog the same way a 30-minute walk does because mental work burns real energy. That makes them ideal for rainy days, recovery periods after surgery, or any situation where hard physical exercise is not practical. They also slow down dogs that eat too fast, reduce anxiety-driven destructive behaviors, and build lasting confidence in nervous or fearful dogs. For owners managing their own mobility limitations or recovering from health challenges, a puzzle toy means your dog gets fully enriched without you needing to throw, tug, or chase anything. 7 toys, 7 failures, 1 toy bin that needs cleaning out tonight. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.